Welcome to Crime Light, where we shine a light on real crimes, real stories, and the truths hidden in the dark.
What happens when you disappear out of thin air? Your footprints didn't exist, and every clue you left behind made the case even stranger. Here is the story of Vanished on Route 112, the mystery of Maura Murray. On a cold February night in 2004, a 21-year-old nursing student crashed her car on a rural stretch of Route 112 in New Hampshire. Only one witness saw and spoke to her. Police arrived minutes later, and within those few minutes, Maura Murray vanished into the night, leaving behind one of the most haunting mysteries in American criminal history. Today, we're retracing the final known steps of Maura Murray, a journey full of secrets, contradictions, and unanswered questions. Maura was a promising student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, quiet, athletic, and academically strong. But in the days leading up to her disappearance, something changed. On February 7th, Maura's father, Fred Murray, visited her in Amherst, where they went car shopping and out to eat. Later that evening, Maura dropped her father off at his hotel room and borrowed his car to get back to campus for a party. She arrived at 10:30 p.m. and left at 2:30 a.m. on February 8th. During her drive back, at approximately 3:30 a.m., Maura hit a guardrail on Route 98 in Hadley. There is no evidence of a sobriety test being conducted, but the responding officer drove her to her father's hotel, where she stayed. Later in the morning, Fred rented a rental and drove her back to the UMass campus and left for Connecticut. Later that night, at around 11:30 p.m., Fred called Maura to remind her to get the accident forms so he could process his insurance claim from the accident. They agreed they would speak again Monday the 9th. On February 9th, the first known contact from Maura was made. At 1 p.m., Maura emailed her boyfriend, "I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking too much to anyone. I promise to call today, though. Love you, Maura." At about 1:30 p.m., she emailed her professors, claiming there had been a death in the family. However, upon further investigation, there wasn't a death at all. Maura made a couple more calls to a few other people, one of whom included her boyfriend, on the premise that they would speak later. That was the end of her phone activity. She packed her dorm room neatly, printed directions to New Hampshire. At about 3:40 p.m., she withdrew $280 from an ATM and purchased alcohol, including Bailey's Irish Cream, Kahlua, vodka, and a box of Franzia wine. Surveillance footage shows her calm, deliberate, and almost emotionless. At 7:27 p.m., Maura's black Saturn drifted off the road and hit a snowbank. A neighbor called the Grafton County Sheriff's Department and reported the car had missed the hairpin turn and had crashed into a snowbank. A school bus driver approached the crashed car. Maura insisted she was fine. However, the bus driver reported that she seemed to be cold and shaking, and he offered to call for help. Unfortunately, she refused and pleaded with him not to call the police. She said she already called AAA. But there was a problem. Her phone record shows no call to AAA, and cell service in the area was spotty at best. The bus driver headed home and called the police at 7:43 p.m. At 7:46 p.m., police arrived. Maura was gone. No footprints in the snow leading into the woods. The car had hit a tree on the driver's side. Both airbags deployed, but the car was locked. No signs of struggle. Just gone. Inside the car, officers found a box of wine, an empty beer bottle, a printed email about relationship troubles, her belongings neatly placed, as if she hadn't intended to be gone long, but her phone, wallet, keys, and a few bottles of alcohol were missing. There are a few theories surrounding Maura Murray's disappearance. Most believe that she walked into the woods and died from exposure. This is the official hypothesis, but search dogs tracked her scent for only 100 yards. Then it vanished. Cold weather preserves footprints, yet none were found. Another popular theory, due to the dogs only getting a scent up to 100 yards, is that Maura accepted a ride from a passing driver. The time gap between the crash and police arrival was 7 to 10 minutes, enough time for one car, one conversation, one moment. Some believe foul play occurred. Local residents report unfamiliar vehicles in the area that night, and the silence around the case has only deepened suspicion. The photo above shows a progressed image of what Maura would look like today. If you or anyone that you know have any information in the disappearance of Maura Murray, please contact the New Hampshire Department of Justice or fill out a tip form at the website above. Thank you for watching Crime Light, where we shine a light on real cases and real stories. Drop a like if you enjoyed. If you're new here, subscribe and join the community of truth seekers. Another case drops soon.